Hi, my name is Alex and I welcome you to today's video. When Star Wars Outlaws was first revealed, it promised something that fans of the galaxy far, far away had been longing for. A true open-world adventure set in the gritty criminal underbelly of the Empire's reign. Unlike the countless Jedi-focused narratives that dominate the franchise, Ubisoft's massive take on the Star Wars license pivots towards the life of a scoundrel, a thief, a survivor, and a risk-taker navigating syndicates, imperial control, and her own ambitions. The concept alone felt like a breath of fresh air, more Andor than Skywalker Saga, and it immediately raised expectations. That the game has been brought to Nintendo's new hybrid hardware, the Switch 2, only adds another layer of fascination. Could such a visually ambitious title survive the technical compromises required for a portable console? And perhaps more importantly, does the game itself live up to the potential of its premise? After dozens of hours spent exploring its planets, chasing credits and weaving through blaster fire, the answer is both yes and no. What Ubisoft has built is impressive, atmospheric, and at times mesmerizing. But it's also a game with uneven storytelling. The story centers on Kay Vess, a young outlaw from Cantonica who becomes entangled in galactic crime after a risky heist turns sour. Betrayed by her partners and marked by syndicate bosses, she must rely on her wits, her blaster, and the help of her small alien companion Nix to survive. From the start, the game establishes that Kay is no chosen one, just a survivor trying to claw her way out of debt and obscurity. As her journey unfolds across multiple planets, she navigates uneasy alliances with syndicates, negotiates betrayals, and constantly finds herself one step away from disaster. The arc works best when it highlights Kay's vulnerability and determination, showing how someone with no special powers can still leave a mark on a galaxy dominated by empires and gangsters. Her bond with Nix adds warmth to the otherwise harsh world, and their interactions provide some of the most human touches in the narrative. At the same time, the story is uneven. While it succeeds in portraying a grounded scoundrel's perspective, it often falls short of true narrative depth. Certain plotlines resolve too quickly, and syndicate politics can sometimes feel like a checklist of factions rather than a living web of intrigue. The pacing fluctuates. Slow stretches of exposition are followed by sudden bursts of action, and not all transitions feel natural. The script occasionally undercuts its darker, more grounded tone with light-hearted exchanges that don't always fit the context. As a result, the narrative feels serviceable, even refreshing in its departure from Jedi myth-making, but it rarely reaches the emotional or thematic heights of the best Star Wars stories. The gameplay loop does a better job of sustaining engagement, though it too has its contradictions. As Kay, players blend stealth, third-person shooting, exploration, and vehicle traversal. Missions often involve infiltrating enemy facilities, using Nix to distract or disable targets, and either sneaking past foes or engaging them directly in combat. Kay can rely on gadgets like grappling hooks and hacking devices, and her adrenaline ability adds a stylish flair, slowing down time to allow precise takedowns. Combat is snappy and cinematic, though it sometimes lacks depth. Stealth sections are enjoyable but not particularly flexible, leaning more towards scripted puzzles than open-ended problem solving. Where the game excels is its sense of place. The planets are varied and alive, from neon-lit cantinas to desert wastelands, and each environment feels distinct and carefully crafted. Hopping on a speeder bike and racing across wide expanses captures a freedom that few Star Wars games ever have attempted. The Trailblazer, Kay's personal ship, adds another layer, enabling space combat and quick transitions between planetary hubs. The open world structure benefits from a reputation system. Your dealings with different syndicates influence how factions respond, sometimes offering resources, other times putting bounties on your head. This creates a sense of unpredictability and tension, as you never quite know whether the next encounter will be friendly or hostile. Side activities, whether smuggling runs, sabacc games, or smaller bounty missions, add variety and make the world feel richer. Still, the Ubisoft formula is recognizable. Many missions boil down to familiar patterns: infiltrate, collect, escape. Fetch quests are frequent, and while the environments help mask the repetition, the underlying structure rarely surprises. Combat, while flashy, can feel shallow after extended play, and enemy AI struggles to challenge players who master the basics early on. Space combat, though entertaining in small doses, never develops into a fully fleshed out system. After several hours, some players may feel like they've seen most of what the game has to offer, even if the world remains enjoyable to inhabit. It's a classic case of atmosphere carrying mechanics that are solid but not groundbreaking. On the technical side, the Switch 2 version of Star Wars Outlaws is a remarkable achievement, but not without compromises. The game was built with ray tracing as a fundamental part of its rendering pipeline, and it simply doesn't function properly without it. For that reason, ray tracing is present even on Nintendo's hybrid hardware, though in a much more scaled down form. Lighting effects, reflections and shadows are simplified. Even with these reductions, the visual presentation on the Switch 2 remains surprisingly strong. Even though the differences compared to the PS5 versions are clearly noticeable in a one-to-one comparison, you never get the feeling that you're playing a different game. Compared to devices like the Steam Deck, which struggles significantly more with the game's demanding engine, the Switch 2 delivers a far superior experience. Environments appear sharper, lighting is more consistent, and the world feels intact rather than stripped down. While it doesn't match the polish of the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, the Switch 2 version stands as one of the best portable options by a wide margin. It's proof that Ubisoft and Nintendo's new hardware can handle a massive open world, even if it means walking a tightrope between ambition and technical limits. It's gonna be interesting to see how other games of this kind will run on the Switch 2 when ray tracing isn't a requirement. Ultimately, Star Wars Outlaws on the Switch 2 is a fascinating mix of ambition and compromise. On one hand, it delivers an experience that feels authentic to Star Wars while avoiding the overfamiliar Jedi storyline. It places players in the shoes of a scoundrel and offers a galaxy full of syndicates, heists and morally grey choices. Its environments are captivating, its aesthetic richly detailed and its sense of immersion undeniable. On the other hand, the story struggles to find consistent depth. Gameplay systems lean too heavily on repetition. On the Switch 2, there's also the added benefit that Gold Edition is included, which comes with the DLCs already built in. A welcome bonus that adds value right from the start. For fans of the franchise and owners of Nintendo's new console, the game is still worth experiencing. It offers a portable window into a corner of the galaxy that has rarely been explored with such detail and style. It may not be flawless, but it captures something essential about Star Wars. The tension between hope and despair, freedom and control, risk and reward. Outlaws is not a masterpiece, but it is a bold experiment that expands the scope of what Star Wars games can be. For those willing to accept its imperfections, it provides hours of adventure in a galaxy that still has many stories left to tell. For these reasons, I rate Star Wars Outlaws for the Nintendo Switch 2 a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you liked it, we would be very happy about a like and a subscription. Or if you're interested in getting early access to our future reviews, feel free to visit our Patreon page.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.